You might be wondering why I already have some laundry piles here. And that's because I already did the loads and then realized I didn't plug my microphone in. So we get to do this video again, which is probably good news for you because it kind of cuts out some of my rambling. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and on this channel, we talk about going for our goals, making our dreams happen one step at a time, day by day, and to keep showing up for ourselves. As you can see by the title of this video, we're talking about being in that messy middle. And first, I want to talk about what that means. To me, the messy middle is that time that the newness of our goal has kind of worn off and we've already gotten over that whole exciting period. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do that new exercise program. And we're in the part that is a little bit more challenging. Maybe we've come upon a task that's a little bit more challenging, or just a section in our goal that is a little bit more challenging. The newness has worn off, so we don't have that pushing us forward. So I'm going to talk about a couple of tips today that will help us keep moving forward even when we're in that challenge zone. Right now, I'm in that challenge zone for sure when starting the Busy Dreamer business. And right now, for me, that means tackling Shopify, moving forward, even though I don't have this picture or that picture, or the knowledge base that I really need to make it be super successful and just kind of go really quick. I'm in that messy middle for sure. The first thing I'm going to suggest when you're in this time is to organize. Organize yourself, organize your thoughts, organize your tasks and your goal. And what I like to do literally for me is to write it all out. I get a piece of paper, sometimes big. Let me show you mine. I write down everything that pertains to this goal. This is only one section of my Busy Dreamer kind of plan for the business. But for this section, this is kind of everything. I can see it in one place, and then you might want to reorganize that and write it down on a different piece of paper after you've written down absolutely everything that you can think of for that one task. Or maybe you've broken your goal up into kind of milestones, but you've written it all out. You're kind of prioritizing it next. And then this does a few things for you. You can see where you need to be. You can see where you need to go. You can schedule this list. And kind of most importantly, you guys, you can cross the items off and see the progress that you're making. And that's kind of the second tip that I'm giving you today. If you can see the progress that you're making, you are so much more likely going to stick with that goal and stick with that task that you're in. There's nothing more frustrating than being on the same task for months on end and kind of giving up because you're like, well, I don't know why I'm going to work on this because I've been doing Shopify for months. This doesn't really apply. I use the example of writing a book because I'm an author also. This doesn't really apply to writing a book because sometimes you're going to be writing that book for months. You can't usually write a book in a weekend, just as a tip, but you're going to be with that book for a little while. So maybe in that case, you break it down even further into chapters or scenes and things that you can still cross off as you make that progress. The other thing that I want to say is to make yourself kind of a deadline. I don't want this to stress you out, but in doing my Shopify, what I normally do when making a deadline, don't do it this way, is to say, I'm going to get this done next week and try and push yourself and do everything it takes to get that done that week. And then it's not enjoyable. You are stressed to the max. And usually you fail because if you're like me and you're busy and you have like this much time to work on your task, you're not going to make it. So maybe set that deadline. I do like the monthly or quarterly type of deadlines so you can see it out there. It's kind of like at school when you had that paper due by the end of the quarter and you had to take little pieces of it at a time in order to see it to the end. But giving yourself some kind of deadline like that quarterly deadline will help you get there. Now, I also want to say that if you're making a quarterly deadline, it doesn't mean that you have to get it done in that time. And conversely, it doesn't mean that you can only work on one task during that quarter. One thing that I see a lot of videos about, pick a goal and stick with it for 90 days. But what I was finding when I had the tasks kind of here, hold on. When I was working on more than one task at a time, I was scattered and I wasn't seeing progress. And I kind of admitted that to myself because I liked to think that I could do more than one thing at a time. But really, we only have one brain, we only have two hands, and we can only focus and physically do one thing at a time. And I kind of switched my mindset, and that takes me to the next tip. And that is to look at your list and see the thing that will most advance you in your goal. This one area, maybe you have it by sections. Let me know what your goal is. If you're still here, put a comment down below. I want to know what you're working on. You can kind of organize your list into sections, and maybe this section, like I said, are kind of easy things like setting up a social media post or something like that. But this section over here, this is what's going to make the biggest bang for your time. And for me, when I look at my list and I look at what I'm going to spend my time on, that is Shopify. And once I get that done, I will be in business. I'll be able to say that I have this business out there and really move forward. I think the first time that I went through that part was much better. The other tip that I want to give is if somebody offers to help you, take it. Absolutely take it. And I've been really bad at this for years now. I kind of was thinking that I'm setting up this writing business. I'm setting up the Busy Dreamer business now. And in order to call this my own, I have to work on 100% of the things. It's all mine. I don't need help. And the other night, that totally got debunked, and I'm really glad it did. We were sitting down doing homework, and my husband was kind of like, well, I'm not really helping because my daughter wanted me to help her with this one task. And he looked at me and he asked, is there anything I can do to help you? And instead of turning him down like I normally do, I said, yes, I had just gotten this new computer. And I said, I need this one software thing downloaded onto the computer. And he did it. And not only, he's really good at that sort of thing, much better than me, but not only did he get it done in a fast amount of time, but as I was doing something else, this is what I realized. That other task was getting done. And it was so powerful to me because I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't even have to struggle through that. I didn't have to work on that right now. I wasn't even personally working on my tasks, and yet it got done. And this is one thing that I've had to kind of come to terms with in building one of my products that I'm going to be offering to you in a few months. And that is outsourcing it to somebody, realizing that that's okay, that I did 75% of the work, and then the rest of the part, that 25% that I'm not very good at, that I was struggling with, I hired somebody else to do. And it's still my idea, it's still my design, but just this one part of it was not going to be as good as I wanted it to be. And if I don't ask for help on that, it, number one, might not get done. Number two, the quality definitely will not be there. And number three, the finished product isn't going to be something that I'm proud of and something that I 100% can stand behind, if that makes sense. So asking for help might be the thing that you need to do in order to launch yourself forward and get to that next step. These are all tips to help you get to that next stage that you need to see the progress in your task and in your goal, to feel like you're making an accomplishment. Because when we feel that way, we will keep going. We'll get through this messy middle time and get to that part that might be a little bit more ease. I don't know about you, but when I am working on my goals, there are definitely stages that I'm in. There's that beginning stage, like I was saying. Then there's that time that I'm in right now. It's the messy middle. And I feel like this is the part that makes or breaks us, that this is the part that all of the challenges are in, that this is where we're tested, that this is where we kind of have to accept that this is the hard part and that it's okay to kind of double down sometimes if we can see that light at the end and know that it's, or at least know that it's there, because I don't see it yet. But sometimes we need to push a little bit harder. And this is me giving you a little bit of hard advice, but sometimes we do need to just push a little bit harder to get through that middle part in order to keep moving forward. I hope the audio worked this time, and I hope you'll come back. I hope you'll consider subscribing. I like to encourage you on your goals and keep you moving through them, because we do get this sense of fulfillment and sense of pride, accomplishment, all of that that we need in our lives, definitely when we're busy people. And sometimes we need a little reason to get out of that and get into our own things. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.